Alright guys, we are back in Doom again with the 5070, and this is, I believe, Chapter 6. It's very demanding. It's one of the most demanding areas in the game, so I wanted to kind of give you another take on another area, and not just the beginning. We've got a new latency figures up here, the RLAT and the PCL. The top one, the RLAT, that is the time it takes the CPU to send a request to the GPU and the GPU render the frame, and the PCL is from the time that it takes the GPU to send it up and you seeing it on the monitor. So just keep in mind whenever we go through the frame generation settings, that's going to be pretty important. Alright, so let's just get into it here. We've got everything set to low. We've got no DLSS, no upscaling, nothing like that, just regular old DLAA, and everything set to low. Pretty good time to remind everybody, please subscribe and watch to the end, or as long as you can. That really helps my my algorithm boost a lot, and thank you so much for all the people that have commented so far and the people that have subscribed, so I really appreciate that. Let's just keep building on this thing, and it's going to be really cool to see what all we can get into. Alright, so we are at 43 FPS and we have 11.2 gigabytes of allocation, so we're still under that 12, but we're getting pretty close to it. Alright, so let me just jump in here. I'm going to go to medium settings. Not the console, but the medium settings, and let's go to medium. Let's just kind of get through it. We like to do things here quickly and not be drug out about it. Hopefully that is something everyone appreciates. Alright, so we're just going to jump up here, and we're at 40 FPS at medium settings, and we've got 11.3 gigabytes of allocation up there on our VRAM. So let's just keep going through here, and it's starting to feel sluggish. Of course, we're at 37 FPS, so we just need to make sure that we have enough to get over 60 before we start to frame generate. So we're going to have to use DLSS, I'm sure, which is fine. That looks perfectly normal and good. So we're just going to come down here, and let's go to the high settings, apply it, and I'm just going to run through these just to get an idea of how ugly it can get with this type of 4K experience on a mid-range 5070 like this with 12 gigabytes of that VRAM. Alright, so let's just come through here, and 33 FPS, looking at 11.4 gigabytes of allocation. And I will say that, like, the game feels perfectly smooth, other than the crappy frame rate that I got. But you know, if you're seeing tearing and everything on your end, that's just a result of YouTube running at a locked 60, and of course things on my end are never locked 60, so we're going to have some variation there, and that's just part of YouTube and doing this kind of thing. So hopefully that clears up some of the comments that I had on some of my other videos. It's just nothing to do with anything on my system. It's just the fact that YouTube is locked to that 60, so I have to record at 60. Alright, so let's just come over here, and we're looking at 36 FPS there, kind of back from the crowd a little bit though. Alright, let's go up to Ultra and apply that. And just to get some more folks to load in, I'm going to reset this checkpoint. That way we have plenty of enemies on the screen when we're doing these tests. Alright, so again, right here at the beginning of the checkpoint, should have all the enemies back now. Alright, and we're looking at 32 FPS with 11.4 gigabytes of allocation. It looks like it's managing our VRAM pretty well, and that's good to see. I will say that this game does have a few weird issues when it comes to my overlays that I'm using. Speaking of, I need to bring that back. Alright, so there's our latency overlay. But it does feel really good. I mean, even at lower FPS, even, you know, not being as responsive as you want it to be, obviously, it still doesn't hitch or stutter or have any kind of issues like that. I mean, it really does run pretty smoothly, and it feels great. They definitely spent their time and made it right, so hats off to, you know, ID and Bethesda for this game. It looks really good, feels great. Alright, so let me come over here, and let's just go up to our very next preset. Just bear with me while I get through all this. Jump ahead if you need to. There are chapter markers down below on this video too. So, okay, this is Nightmare. That's 35 FPS. Still got a bunch of bunch of crap on the screen, so this should be a pretty good way to see what the worst case scenario would be for this card. Alright, and let's just keep going, and after this we're going to go to try to discover some settings that's going to give us a nice over 60 FPS experience with hopefully no added latency, and if so, just a little bit if that's the case. Alright, let's just jump into Ultra Nightmare and go on down here. And we are at Ultra Nightmare, so after this we'll get into the fun stuff, the DLSS and the frame gen. Alright, Ultra Nightmare, so worst case scenario for this title on this card in this area at 4K is going to be about 31 FPS, so about half what the ideal situation would be at 60. So yeah, let me just go through here. We've got a pretty good idea what it's going to do now. So 11.4 gigabytes of allocation at low 30s FPS, and let's just kick on some quality frame generation, not quality frame generation, quality DLSS. All these terms get mixed up in my brain sometimes and I say the wrong thing. Alright, so we're going to go to quality DLSS, and just to confirm, we are still at Ultra Nightmare presets. So this should give us a pretty good break and get our FPS way back up. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, man, it feels so much better. I mean, this is like night and day from having DLSS quality turned off. We're at 60 FPS. The action, of course, is still very fast-paced. Still really good. A lot of stuff going on. I probably just suck at this game and you can laugh at me. But yeah, I mean, everything is quite nice. That little exchange that we had with all the effects went down into the 50s. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at these numbers. And let's just come over here and maybe see what performance can look like. We're going to come over here and we're going to go down to quality. And oh, actually, let's go balanced. I forgot we can try balanced out and just see if that gets us over 60. And like I've said before, if you are upscaling from 1080p, which is performance, to 4K, it looks almost the same. I mean, there is just no reason if you're under 60 FPS to not use performance. It looks that good now. So don't shy away from that at all. We're going to take a look, but I'm feeling like balance is probably going to be a pretty good setting to play this title at. Alright, we are under 60. Probably at some of those exchanges of larger enemies we would drop under 60. I'm going to go back to the checkpoint just to double check that, because I want to give you guys the most accurate representation here. So we are going to be at balanced DLSS right now, and we are going to be running it at 4K still, and this is at Ultra Nightmare. So we're at 65. I kind of want to come up and fight one of these huge dudes. There's one back here, I believe, because they really tank the FPS some. Where is he at? Oh, this guy's pretty big. Where did it go? Okay, down into the 70s. Go fight this giant thing up here. Alright, yeah, so that drops us down to 68. Let's go over here. I really want the one to show up over here because he's pretty big, and he's surrounded by a lot of other things too at the time, so I feel like that would be a challenge for the card, at least somewhat. Okay, go ahead and get this dude. So we're at 70, and our VRAM allocation, of course, is no longer an issue at all with DLSS turned on. It's well under 10, so we're good there. All right, where is this guy going to show up at? So under 10 gigabytes of allocation, 66 FPS. I would really like to fight one of those bigger guys though, because there's a guy out here that in the last video. Let me fight this guy. Let's see if we can get him to come over here and like get some more crazy stuff going on. All right, yep. So I don't know if that big guy's going to come out, but we're having a pretty good experience, and of course I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. At performance as well. So we're just jumping here, go to performance DLSS. Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. Performance DLSS, Ultra Nightmare, and we will see what happens next. This should be a pretty nice experience. So yeah, we're over 90. Oh no, we shot up to 90. It looks like we settled back down around high 70s. And the game looks almost the same. And I really love playing games like this at high refresh. There he is. That's the guy I wanted to fight. Alright, so that's dropping us down into... yeah, we're still in the 70s. So that's really nice. Alright, so let's just go ahead and kick on some frame gen at quality and see what that does. Because our frame gen, as long as we're over 60 FPS most of the time, I don't mind using frame gen at all. And I probably wouldn't frame gen off of this. It's down in the 50s, not really hitting 60 enough for me to, on a game like this at least. You know, this is like obviously super fast paced. So let's go ahead and jump it up to balanced. And this is probably how I would play it. I just would say like, let's go balanced, and let's see what that was again. We're at 59. So maybe performance. I don't know. That might be where I would play it. I'd probably stick it on performance because this is balanced and it's still dropping under 60 during some of these like more chaotic exchanges. Yeah. So I would say we would just hop back over here. I'm glad I was able to show that though, because I feel like the chaos of this game can really tank your FPS more than you would think. Alright, so we're over 60 now. We are at 4K still. And we don't have any frame generation on. Let me kick that latency meter back on. This is why I have that Wii mod running, so I can make sure all the stuff is on while I'm fighting. Alright, here we go. So our latency, 27 at the top number and 48 at the bottom number. I'm just curious to see what it does in this area with frame generation. So we're at 66. Let's come down here and just kick on some frame gen. All right, so let's apply that. And of course it got rid of that metric again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right, so our latency is a little above the 40s now. I mean, maybe it kind of looks like it settled back down. I want to make sure I do not have boost turned on though. Because that can affect it. Okay, yeah, boost is off. Everything else is good. Okay. Yeah, so we're in the 40s. And I mean, I'm shaking the mouse trying to make it feel laggy. I'm not noticing anything at all. It feels fine. So 2x frame generation gets you over 100 FPS in one of these more, you know, crazy areas of the game. And I'm going to go ahead and go back from a checkpoint and just make sure that we can load everything back in and ensure that we are showing the hardest situation in this game. As much as I know, at least. This is as far as I've gotten. I like to play through them and get to points where I feel like are good test areas. All right, let's get. I'm hung up on this tank. How do I get off of it? Oh my goodness. All right, so embarrassing. So embarrassing. All right, so 111 FPS. Bring this back. I don't know why that keeps going away. All right, so we are at 38. Just trying to pay attention to that up there. And this is 2x frame gen. But of course, it's because we have a nice base resolution that it doesn't really affect the latency as bad as probably trying to generate off of like 30, you know, which I don't ever recommend doing. That's frame gen is not a fix, it is a way to make things better when they're already better, when they're already good. It's icing on the cake. Definitely not them saying that a 5070 is a 4090. That was inaccurate marketing. Just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. That is not the case. But it's still a really good card. Alright, so our allocation is under 12, even though we're using frame gen, because frame gen does take up a little bit of VRAM. Alright, so let's go over here, and if I can get back into the settings here. We're on performance DLSS. Let's go up to 3x, and let's just take a look at our latency with 3x turned on. 75. Yeah, it definitely cooked up a little bit and it settled back down. Alright, get this bone spreader. This thing's... There we go. Alright. Okay. So we are at 147 FPS. This dude's trying to shoot at me up here. Get a different gun here. Big ass shotgun. Alright. Let's jump over here and we're going to check out what 4X looks like. Okay. So that's 4X. 100 and almost 180 FPS. Go ahead and blow that up. Take care of him. Blow that up. Take care of him. Come on. There we go. Got it. Alright. And that is going to probably wrap up most of the test here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is a longer test. I really wanted to show a lot of the different areas of this game and give you a really good idea of what this card can handle in a game like this that's pretty fast paced. And again, this is 4K. This is not really this card's intended resolution, but it can do it in a game that's pretty well optimized like this. It feels really good. It's super fast paced. Please give me a like and a follow. That would mean a lot to me, and it helps my algorithm. It helps everything out, and everything would be better with more likes, more follows, and subscriptions. So if you like what I'm doing here, drop a comment down there if you want to see another area in this game, if you want to see another card on this game, if you want to see a card with a different game. Just let me know what you guys are looking for. I'll probably put a poll out actually here soon. Now that I've gotten enough subscribers to do so, we'll be able to take the channel to a little bit more of a new height. So thank you again, and we will talk to you in the very next video. See ya.